Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Polestar 3. The Polestar 3 has touched down on the Las Vegas road strip. This is quite remarkable. So Polestar has made a surprising appearance at the CES in Las Vegas 2024, showcasing their recent updates to their Google infotainment system, the Android automotive system itself. They've made quite a few updates. I've touched on this subject just a little bit, but to be honest, I want to be a little bit more in depth. And for Polestar showing up to CES 2024, what does this mean for the brand? Quite a few years ago, CES used to be a very different environment, a very different event. It was like the biggest tech event in the world, and there would be such a huge deal being made about this event. And now it seems like a lot less interesting. But of course, I was talking about like 2015, 2016. Those were back in the days. Even earlier than that, 2014. It seems that the entire YouTube tech community would just run to CES and review gadgets. But these days, it's quite a bit different in the tech community. So it seems that Polestar started an adventure across the US. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Apparently, it's the most important event on the technology calendar, hosted in Las Vegas, Nevada. Every major technological brand in the world uses it as a platform to demo their latest and greatest innovation. Polestar was at the Android booth with demo Google's newest addition for cars with Google built in, namely Google Chrome browser, sent to car. So there are demos of the Google Maps sent to car in the Polestar 3. And this is something that's being demoed at CES. In fact, I think CES might be over by now, but nevertheless, we're still reporting on it. And to be honest, I've been meaning to report on this for quite some time. Google Maps Send to Car features allow users to pre-plan trips on their mobile devices and then instantly transfer the planned route to the Polestar vehicle, allowing for convenience, pre-planning, and avoiding the need to enter a route in the car. The new function is already available for Polestar 2, but it's the Polestar 3 and the epic desert road trip around Las Vegas that they're so interested in. So despite its recent Formula One race, Las Vegas isn't exactly famed for exhilarating driving. So this is quite an interesting technology that Polestar is bringing to its customers, to be honest. And quite recently, the CEO of Polestar reiterated that they want to keep Google and Apple CarPlay in the Polestar cars as much as possible. So more technology are to come to these vehicles. So here it is, an article by TechCrunch. Polestar CEO promised to keep Apple CarPlay around. Thomas Ingerlith couldn't be happier with the integration of Google built-in, the brand product that embeds Google apps and services directly into the car's EVs. But don't expect the EV maker to drop Apple CarPlay as a result. On the sideline of CES 2024, Ingerlith committed to sticking with Apple CarPlay, the middleware that allows drivers to project their smartphone onto the car's infotainment display. He went a step further and questioned automakers that have. GM, for instance, decided not to make any new 2024 Chevy Blazer EV compatible with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. That's quite interesting. So just in case you're curious, this is the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. And apparently, it's not compatible with Android Automotive or Apple CarPlay. And to be honest, I've got no problem with that. I like the fact that companies like Tesla and Rivian actually choose to make their own software. I like that. That's a step of independence. I think companies that are big as Volvo should plan to do the same. Because what happens when Apple makes a competitive car? What happens? There's a lot of people buying Teslas, and you don't get Apple CarPlay in a Tesla. So you don't get Android Automotive. People still buy Teslas. But for smaller companies like Polestar, Lucid, it's really important for them to have Apple CarPlay or Google Automotive in their car because it convinces people to buy. But when you have really great brand recognition power like Tesla, you don't have to go that far. In fact, you just have to make sure that the Tesla software is good enough that people want to use it. And it seems that Tesla has a way of doing that. It seems that Rivian is also following suit to do the same thing. Make it as easy as possible for you to integrate your phone into your vehicle without having Android Automotive or Apple CarPlay. Both Polestar and Volvo were amongst the first automakers to feature Google Android Automotive OS with Google built-in when it launched in 2019. As a result, Polestar 2 And select Volvo cars are often the first vehicles to get new apps, including YouTube, Apple Prime videos, as well as new features. Meanwhile, Android Automotive and Apple CarPlay is a secondary interface that lies on top of the operating system. Android Automotive and Apple CarPlay are apps that run on the user's phone, wirelessly communicate with the vehicle's infotainment system, and they've been particularly critical for automakers that have failed to offer the same features and functions that consumers have on their phone, like Lucid. Lucid did have some, they had to add Apple CarPlay quite quickly to their car because they realized people want to buy a car with Apple CarPlay. But if it's a Tesla, people are willing to buy the car without Apple or Google Android Automotive. But it's interesting what the article has said. Android Automotive and Apple CarPlay is a secondary interface that lies on top of the operating system. So it's important to understand. Volvo, Polestar, they already have their own operating system. It's just that they put Google and Apple CarPlay on top of that as a choice for you as a consumer. Tesla could do the same. Rivian could do the same. Could it add complications? Possibly. Is it simpler to just build your own software? Possibly. But for now, I understand why Polestar is doing this. I completely understand it. This does not stop Polestar to continue developing their own original software. This is the base software of the vehicle that Google and Android Automotive is stacked up on. It's kind of like how you have a Samsung phone that runs Android, but Samsung adds something on top and call it TouchWiz. Now, what I really like about Polestar bringing the Polestar 3 to Las Vegas and the CES event is the amazing information we've received and the amazing pictures and videos that we've had been gifted with. Really and truly, these are some incredible shots by Polestar of the Polestar 3 in Nevada, in the state of Nevada. This is absolutely incredible. Now, if you can see there's a bridge, right? So I'm assuming there's probably, I don't know, there's probably a lake somewhere close by. If we look on this image, you'll actually notice that it was actually almost like pre-planned for them to drive somewhere close to this lake. So that might have been the exact place they were taking some of those photos. It's just something cool that I've noticed. It's just something cool that I've noticed. By the end of the year, we'll be having these vehicles on the road. That's pretty awesome, especially the Polestar 3. I'm so excited for that vehicle. I think it's perhaps the best vehicle Polestar has created so far, the Polestar 3. It definitely beats the Polestar 4, the Polestar 2. I don't know about the Polestar 1. Nothing really beats the Polestar 1, but the Polestar 3, it really tops everything. And that doesn't mean that I would take the Polestar 3 over the Polestar 4. I still really like the Polestar 4, especially due to the fact that it has a landscape display in the interior. That's really important for me to have a landscape display because it just allows us to do so much more with the car. A portrait display is very limited. I can't even watch movies, can't even enjoy watching videos. It's just more limited. It's especially if it doesn't rotate. If it rotates, problem solved. I've got no problem with this if it rotates. But does it rotate? I don't think so. So if Polestar could get these displays to rotate, it would solve a lot of problems. I think it would be a lot more accepting for buyers because buyers typically want a car with landscape display. Just makes more sense right now in our society. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.